say?
This is one of the most rare production airplanes there is out there that I know of.
Right. And Kevin, you're the owner?
At the moment.
It's just so huge compared to a normal...
It's really big.
A normal Mooney, you know?
People are used to Moonies. They're down low. You can kind of walk over the top of them, step over the back. This thing is a big air. It's a serious airplane.
Wow. I would say the fuselage makes me think of a Cessna 340 in size, but it's probably not quite that big.
Not that big inside, but it's a big fuselage. It's got a lot of room.
Wow.
It's got like a three-piece windshield.
And it's basically a Mooney Mustang. Nice.
And it's a 222 knot airplane. It's not a slouch by any means.
And what size engine does it have?
310 horsepower Lycoming. Same engine that's in the Duke. It's been derated.
Ah, okay. The Duke, the Beechcraft Duke.
Yeah. The Beechcraft Duke is 385 or 380 horsepower. This has been knocked down to 310.
So derated so that it lasts longer?
Derated because of, I think in those days they were working toward an insurance mark of some sort. Because the 310 came out, the Cessna 310P pressurized Cessna came out with 310 also for some reason. And both of them could have had more horsepower. But they were both coming out with 310. The reason this plane failed was because Cessna was underselling them by almost 20 grand back in 1968. That's a lot of money. So obviously Cessna took off like wildfire, and they had to quit making them because they had more money in the production than they could afford to give away.
Well, look at that windshield. It almost looks like a tank.
Yeah, it's kind of an ugly duckling to say the least, but it moves once it gets up. Once you get the gear up. I cleaned the wings up last night. I had bugs all over them because I was flying it the other day.
Oh, it's airworthy right now.
Oh yeah,
It's flying.
yeah. You said you wanted to see us, so I was like waxing all the bugs off the wings last night.
Well, it made it look pretty.
Let me open the door for you, because that's another unique feature about this airplane is the door. The flaps are unique. In fact, they've got the slats are, or the flaps are slatted. So a slatted flap has a leading edge, so it's like a double wing. These flaps are slatted.
Yeah, you can see that from the light that you can see through it. It helps keep the flow, the airflow
Yeah, it's kind of like
over the wing and the
like
flaps.
VGs, and the high angle of attack is like VGs. And look how long the flaps are.
Wow.
The flaps are huge. This thing slows way down.
Look at the way that opens up. You know what that makes me think of?
Submarine?
A PC-12. You know how it has that big door at the back of the fuselage?
Yeah.
And then it's like, makes it super easy to get cargo in and stuff like that?
Well, you could put a washing machine through that door.
No kidding. Wow. Because that's one of the things about low-wing airplanes is they tend to be...
Hard to get in and out.
Yeah, hard, because the doors tend to be small.
Yeah.
And it was because of the era when they were building them, they were trying to make them as economical as possible. So rather than put two doors, let's save on a door. And in this case, it's pressurized, so these doors have to
Seal air.
seal air, yeah. And so there's a little baggage compartment. Is that what that is?
Yeah. And there's a fifth seat back here, but this I don't have the fifth seat. But
You can actually put someone back here?
Well, these seats are way back now. They slide forward quite a bit.
Oh, okay. So
You see the legroom between the front seats are all the way back. These are all the way back, but if you move these forward, when you fly, you move the front seats forward anyway. So there's quite a bit of room in there.
So is there air conditioning?
No.
No. I wouldn't think there would be, but... Wow. So here's a little view from inside, from the back. Relatively spacious.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
I'd like to find if I keep this thing, the next thing I'm going to do is look for another seat, just to have it,
Right.
for the collector value.
And then how tall are you, Kevin?
6 foot.
6 foot. So this thing is pretty big, because I'm 6'1", so I'm barely an inch taller than Kevin. And I'm not gaining the same level of apprehension regarding the smaller low-wing airplanes I usually get from having to scramble in them and out of them. This looks really amazing in terms of spaciousness.
Yeah. And the glass is all very, very clean considering his age.
Right.
But it's all thickened glass as well. It's probably...
Well, the glass looks impeccable, super transparent.
Yeah, yeah. It's thicker stuff though because it's pressurized.
The paint looks older, but it's clean.
Came out of northern Colorado.
Nice. An older panel, so the panel could do with being updated.
Yeah, everybody likes glass nowadays, and so most stuff in there is functional, but everybody likes glass, so that's somebody's job. They can do that.
So how many total hours on the airplane?
1,100 hours since new, everything.
Wow, that's so low. And the engine as well, presumably, everything.
Yes, everything.
Yeah. Holy moly. So you're selling it?
Everything's for sale. That's the old saying, right? For my generation.
What do you think someone interested in this should be factoring? You know, there's going to be a ton of questions about, oh, well, how much, etc.
Well, I've been asking. If I was going to ask, I'd probably be about 100 and a quarter.
Uh-huh.
If you look at what you're getting for that, you can't replace that with anything out there, because if you want something pressurized, you're going to pay 200 plus for a 210. If you buy a Cessna 210, you got to worry about the spar carry through, which is a huge headache.
Right.
The next pressurized airplane that you're going to get is going to be a Malibu Mirage, $500,000.
Right.
So pound for pound, even if I took less, whoever buys this is getting a lot of airplane for the money.
So $1.25, which means 125,000.
Yeah, around there.
Seems fair.
And it's a 222 knot airplane at 25,000 feet, burns 16 gallons an hour.
Wow.
I get a lot of naysayers. You know, a lot of people, they talk about, oh, this does that, doesn't do this, doesn't do that. But I don't think any of them ever owned one. It's just a lot of people like to make a lot of talk.
And so the
But you remember
pressurization
that.
holds until what? Have you tested it?
No, I've been playing with it. I can't hold the full pressure on it at the moment. And but the leaks are the door. The fuselage doesn't leak at all. I've checked it all out. But
So
the
just
door
the
is not.
seals around the door?
Yeah, and I've got several different people that have different ideas on how to address that. And
So what altitude is it supposed to maintain
I think
pressurization
it's
to?
8,000 feet at 22,000 feet.
Okay.
24,000 feet. Supposed to maintain an 8,000 foot cabin at 24,000.
But even if you didn't have it pressurized, still an awesome.
Well, you know what's kind of funny is it's a manual pressurization. It's not like a normal pressurized airplane.
Oh, really?
There's a lever down there, and you kick it in and kick it out whenever you want it.
Well,
So for
I mean, it's
insurance purposes-
nice. So is the problem holding it all the way up, or are you getting it to hold at least partially?
Well, the only way I can test it is here on the ground, basically, and find the actual leaks.
Right.
And so when I pressurize it up here on the ground, I get leaks around my door.
Okay. So you know, because you can hear it.
You can see it like soapy water.
Soapy water, you can see it. Okay. So you pressurize it from the inside and.
I pressurize it from the engine side. With the door closed, cowl up. I hook onto the inlet system on the pressurization, and then I go ahead and put a vacuum cleaner on that
Right.
to blow air.
So I'm going to do this. I'm going to climb up here. Interesting stuff. Here we get a bit of a top view from the engine.
Turbocharged Bonanza I just sold. This will outrun the turbocharged Bonanza considerably.
Oh, this is just a fascinating airplane to me.
Well, get in the back seat and see the legroom you've got.
Yeah, I'm going to do that in a second. Now, keep in mind, guys, I'm 6'1", and lots of fun, but I don't fit very well in airplanes usually because I have a long body. But pretty neat. The airframe looks like it's in good shape, but hey, it's such low time. But the original paint's a little faded. But I know a place in Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic where they do cheap paint, just in case. Well, I've heard of it anyway.
I've got that panel off on the wall.
So I'm sat here in the back, and the seats are all the way aft, and I have like a foot left here of room from my knees. Wow. My head is touching the ceiling, and that's typical for me.
Well, you're in the back seat as well.
But the seat is very thick. I'm wondering if these could be adapted, reupholstered with less foam. That would take care of that problem. Just missing an inch or two. And I'm 6'1", long in the body, so probably the equivalent of a 6'2" or 6'3". So most people are going to fit in here in the back just fine. Let me go in the front. Let's see, this front seat passenger, well, co-pilot seat should, how do we get that to scoot back? Does it scoot back?
I think it's back all the way.
It's back all the way.
Both front seats are back all the way.
So for your passengers, really easy to get in. Very comfortable. If you have people that are apprehensive about flying and you know, you're trying to get them in a Mooney or a Piper, Cherokee or something, just the act of getting them in the airplane scares the crap out of them because they... If they weren't claustrophobic, they're starting to feel claustrophobic. Whereas here, yeah, for the pilot, I just basically put my leg in one at a time. I'm sat in here. And remember, I don't have to move this seat because there is so much room for those passengers. And I'm really comfortable. So 6'1", and I have, for my knees, another 3 or 4 inches with the dash.
How about your headroom?
And my headroom is, I have basically, let's see if I can show that here on the camera.
Here.
Oh yeah, you can see my silly hat. All right, so let me take my hat off and see my bald head. I'm in the co-pilot seat. And what is there, like 2 or 3 inches?
4 or 5.
4 or 5 maybe?
You can put a 2x4 between your head and the ceiling.
Whatever they say in aviation, you gotta factor in the exaggeration, but yeah.
Oh, you could have a real tall headset.
So I don't feel at all cramped in the front of this airplane. I'm actually kind of liking it. I'm thinking of making Kevin an offer here. But yeah, this is amazing. Now, how many of these did they build, Kevin?
I think 36.
36.
There's probably about 15 flying. One of the favorite mods that I talked to, a guy had one in Switzerland, and he put a Duke engine in here, which is 380 horsepower, and put a 3-blade Duke propeller on it, and loves it in the Swiss Alps. There's a couple more out there that I've seen and found around that are flying. There's maybe 10 left in the world flying that I can find. Another guy had one down in Australia for sale. He was asking $250, I think. I don't know if he ever sold it or not. And there's some guys on the East Coast that have some.
Right. So any challenges in owning a Mooney Mustang that you know of so far?
Well, it's a rare airplane, so there's always a challenge, but I think the reward is in the, you pull it up on a ramp somewhere. That's where the reward is, because everybody comes over and wants to see it.
Yeah. So here we have the classic panel. Presumably there's an autopilot. Let's look for it.
Britain, right there, an older Britain. Right
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Here's an older pilot. Does it work?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of works?
Yeah.
Old radios. I mean, they're not fancy, but they work. An old ADF. We don't use those anymore, but it's there if you need it. I'm guessing this might be a Loran. I'm not sure. Another piece of equipment popular back in the day, but that doesn't really help us much anymore. But a lot of you guys are flying with ForeFlight, iPads, or Garmin's. So, but yeah, if you were looking for the authentic Mustang, the Mooney Mustang, an authentic version like you would have on an older collectible car, this is the aircraft. It's exactly the way it was built for the original owner, presumably. What was here missing from this?
There's a clock goes in the yoke.
There was a clock?
Yeah, and those are beach yokes, so I'm looking for a beach clock, and I found a couple on Craigslist back east, but I'll find one.
Right.
They were kind of far away.
Well, and you got the cabling that's showing here.
Yeah, I took that panel off because we were doing some research on stuff, so we had to sort out wires.
Okay, but
And I
there's
need to
like
put it
a
back on.
plastic paneling of some
Yeah,
sort?
there's a plastic paneling goes along
Like
the
a
wall.
channel? Oh, okay, like
Like
that
in the
one.
back,
Like
yeah.
that one there, yeah.
It just bolts back on.
Cool.
As a matter of fact, just for your sake, I put the armrest. That armrest pops right off right now.
Oh, okay. Nice. And you can open this little window here, even the...
That's the only operable window in the airplane.
Right.
And then your master switches and stuff are up above, like a
Nice.
helicopter.
Okay. And again here, a view from the front, how spacious that back seat was. I mean, yes, it has been pushed back a bit, but there's plenty of room to push those seats forward if you need to put some baggage behind these seats, like some golf bags or something.
Or use the fifth seat,
Yeah.
put the fifth seat in, that's what I wanna do.
Amazing stuff. I like it.
And the other thing about this airplane, the whole structure, this wing, walk out along this gas line right here. You can walk right out this wing.
Well, I'm uncomfortable feeling doing that, but if you tell me
Yeah,
to,
no,
I'm gonna.
just stay right here. Just make your
I'm
stuff
gonna
right
do
there.
it. He's telling me to walk along the spar, which I'm doing. Oh, this is so solid. Wow, I don't recommend people do this on their airplanes, that's for sure. But hey, this is Kevin, so he's let me doing it.
No, it's a solidly built. The skin on this airplane is the same thickness as the skin on the F-35 aerobatic Bonanza.
Nice.
So it's a thicker skin to make structural strength
Yeah.
down the road for aerobatics. Now this is not an aerobatic airplane, don't get me wrong, but this skin is thicker than the Bonanza skin or the Cessna skin.
Oh, the regular skins
It's
on
built thicker.
right.
The actual aluminum that's sheeted across here is
Yeah.
thicker.
People might not know that there's an aerobatic version of that
Of the
F30
Bonanza.
of the Bonanza, yeah.
F-33. There is an aerobatic version.
Yeah.
But
Which
the
is
only
beef.
thing that makes it aerobatic is the spar is the same. They've just skinned the spar.
They beefed it up on the skins, right?